got pretty much what you expected from him?
Yeah, I mean, he fits in very well here. The performance was terrific. He was as excited as you could be. I don't know how much sleep he got last night. He almost beat me here this morning for a starting pitcher that usually gets, those guys usually get here a couple hours before game time. He has a lot of fun off the field, in the clubhouse, and is serious when he's on the field. So he fits in very well, and great to get him off to a good start like that. Terrific performance.
Before the game, you said you wanted to see his competitiveness. For every pitcher, he gets in, first and third right off the bat in the first inning. Is that something that you kind of use as a measuring stick in the way he got out of it?
Absolutely. I think that's very indicative of who he was. You saw his reaction when he came off the mound. He's got some emotion. I think he thrives on situations like that at times. And, I think the first inning really showed a lot about what his makeup's all about, and then did a nice job along the way.
Following up on that, you say sometimes you can't see on video what you see on the field. Was there something that he did that surprised you that you didn't know, or was it pretty much what you expected?
Little subtle stuff with movement. The sinker moves a little bit more. The cutter and the slider kind of come together at times, and he's got good feel for it. Throw one cutter at 91, a slider at 87. Just has real good feel for that pitch. A pitch that kind of stays off the barrel of the bat. Good split when he needs to. You could see, with some of the free swingers, he'd pitch them a little differently. Guys that he thought would, were going to take some pitches. He's very aware of what he's doing out there on the mound, his stuff. He shook to what he wanted to throw. Very strong-minded on the mound.
Did he say anything to you that he actually got runs tonight?
What's that?
Did he say anything to you, any kind of comment in passing that the team he's pitching for provided him actually some runs tonight?
No, you know what? I don't think he may say something about that later. But as the game goes along, he's just focused on keeping the opponent from not scoring runs. So I don't think that was something he was thinking too mugive about it. It's nice to get him a lead early, though.
You didn't have the bullpen up at all in that sixth inning, which was pretty rough one with some big hitters. Was that just, I'm going to see what he's got and give him some leadership?
I liked his stuff. I mean, I liked what he was featuring, and we saw him get out of a jam earlier. Maybe another hitter, we get somebody up, but I wanted him to know that we had a lot of confidence in him.
Bob, how do you sum up just kind of the mood with this team right now after the sweep this weekend and after getting swept in Detroit and key guy you get in a trade and he pitches great, and just overall the mood, the feeling right now?
But once we got home, we weren't thinking about the sweep. We were more thinking about what we were trying to accomplish in this series. It's very difficult to sweep a 4-game series, especially against a very good offensive club like that. So we feel good about what we accomplished here, but we know tomorrow's a new day against a new opponent. And then, as far as the feel goes with the team, some things went on today would suggest that we're in a little better mood. And we'll probably get to that in a little bit.
Bob, I don't know if you know this, but it's the first time you guys have swept Toronto since May of 1981. What were you doing in May of 1981?
81 was my first year in pro ball, Macon, Georgia. So I probably wasn't following that sweep.
Bob, is the Giants series one that you look forward to, or is it kind of blending with all the rest of the other series?
There's probably a little bit more to it. I mean, that the whole Bay Area is going to be watching, and you have two pretty good baseball teams. It seems to be a bit of a rivalry on top of it, even though it's interleague. So I know the area looks forward to these games, and this year it's 4 in a row, so it should be an exciting series.
Do you have any update on Brandon Moss?
Yeah, MRI clean. No structural problems there, which is a relief. Chance he could maybe DH tomorrow. We'll see how he does, as far as on-field stuff, but not out of the question.
Any other game-related questions?
Well, so noticed he really worked with a fast pace. Did you know that about him? Do you like that? Bob Samardzija gets the ball, pretty much didn't seem to have any discussion with Jaso on what pitch to throw, and just gets it and goes.
Right. He's very aware of what's going on out there. I mean, he's a competitor, and he knows that, you want to get the ball and deliver it and keep your defense on your toes, get them a part of it, not standing around. So, for first look, it was he's very aware of what's going on in the surroundings, what he wants to do, a very tough-minded guy. So that's just one of the things that you notice from him is he gets the ball and he pitches and wants to keep his defense on their toes and involved.
Game-related questions? You can watch up here. Josh Donaldson should be maybe the next segment. Has he already been announced? Okay, so if you need to tweet.
Josh Donaldson made the team.
However, yeah. From now on, this is all filmed. This is nothing live. But we'd like, once they've digested the names, don't worry about the stats and stuff. Once you digest the names, we'd like to open up the questions about the All-Star selection for Bob. No, Donaldson's the only one. It's only based on what's up there.
You're always saying, you don't really pay attention to the amount of attention you guys are getting, but to have 6 guys going, I mean, what does that mean for you? And
I think 7 with Samardzija, right? Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, we were hoping for something like this. On the position player end, it was something that's been a little while, and to be able to get 4 guys on there as far as position players, well deserved. A starter on top of it. Brandon Moss, we were all hoping for that too. You had a feeling that Cespedes and Norris, based on where they were in the voting, but Brandon Moss definitely deserves it. All 4 of these guys do, and the 2 pitchers on top of it. I mean, we couldn't be any happier. There were some other guys that put up some pretty good numbers too, especially on the pitching end, but to be able to get 6 guys in is really cool.
Bob, did you tell them all in a group, and when was that, and what was the emotion?
Yeah, it was this morning. We had a good time with it. A couple of guys I told ahead of time, a couple of guys I wanted to find out in the meeting, and we had a really good time with it. The guys were very supportive. It got us, I think, in even a better mood going out on the field today. But to be able to sit there for a while and not just call out one name was neat. I mean, proud of all these guys, and every one of them who's on the team deserves to be on the team.
Samardzija being named, he's saying, to the team. But which team is he named to? The National League or the American?
I think they're trying to figure that one out as we speak. I would guess it would be the National League team, but I don't know.
Yes, it is.
But
he will not play. He'll get all the other courtesies of being an All-Star.
And what
with
uniform?
The National League. He will not be wearing an A's uniform. I can't confirm whether he's wearing a Cubs or just a National League uniform. He'll be introduced, but he will not participate.
Bob, for a guy like Derek, who's been in a sharing time role, he's splitting time.
Lost too, yeah.
For him to be able to make it, what does that mean? What does that say about him?
Well, it means he's put up some really good numbers in fewer at bats than most of the guys. So he's made the most of his opportunities. To have the production numbers in a little bit, more than half the at bats. Shows a lot about the production that he's put up. You double those numbers in the at-bats, maybe not quite double them, but, after that, I mean, he's definitely worthy of that. And then on top of that, you look at some of the catching numbers, and he definitely deserves to be there. So it's neat that we were to get some guys, too, and that weren't looked at as everyday players going into the season.
I think you've described them as either crazy numbers or stupid numbers that Sean Doolittle has.
Right.
61-2. Pretty crazy or stupid?
Yeah, I mean, especially out of a guy that comes out of the bullpen typically in games that are close. Sometimes you want to be a little bit more fine when you do that, but he comes right after you. He doesn't put guys on, via the walk. He makes them earn their way on, and the numbers, you don't see numbers like that too often.
You said you talked to a couple guys early. Who were those guys and why?
I have my own reasons for that. I appreciate the question, but I'm not going to get into that.
You guys took 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox. Obviously, they chose the reserve players, a lot of which the A's players that made it. How much do you think that series had an impact on some of these guys maybe making the team?
I don't think it has much to do with that. I think or I know, and I've been around managers that have had to pick the team before, that you're looking at the numbers and you're trying to figure out the guys that deserve to be there and try not to leave anybody out. There are always going to be some guys left out, but I don't think personal, matchups have anything to do with that. It's all about who deserves to go in the numbers.
Are we good? We're good. Oh, wait a minute, we're not good. Mr. Hickey. Pull him up, good.
Casimir's come so far in going from
Right.
in independent ball to all-star. Could you talk a little about that process?
Yeah, we have a lot of good stories. Not really no better than that one, to be pitching in the independent league a couple years ago, and the guy that we were targeting first and foremost in the offseason as a free agent acquisition shows you how far he's come in a short period of time. Testament to his work ethic, to his desire, to his belief in himself to work his way all the way back, and now to become an all-star. He's got to feel very good about that, as do we.